Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today we're going to be doing my What Sold video, which will be for last week, Monday through Thursday, May 11th through the 14th. And I had sales on five platforms. Yay, I finally had my second Depop. And I've actually had two more since, so it's motivating me to get more stuff on there. So yeah, I've got to focus on that too. But yeah, all in all, between all of the platforms, things are okay. You know what I mean, as far as sales. So
we're not going hungry.
We're not going to go hungry. We can still pay our bills.
And have some extra money too.
So let me go ahead and share with you some of the things that sold for me. The thing that sold on Depop for me was this, I hate the way they do their titles, but it was this Panda Express restaurant plush from 2022. The funny thing about this is I got this taken down on eBay as an IP violation. You know, when you get those, don't put them back on there. But I did leave them on the other platforms. And it sold on Depop for $9.95. There was nothing wrong with this. Somebody just is pinging those eBay listings to get stuff taken down. It had its original tags. It was good. Just, but it all worked out for me.
One of these days,
we'll
go into this. One of these days, we're done reselling. I'm going to go after these people that take these down, and they're going to lose as long as I can finagle my way through the court system well enough, because it's wrong to do that to people when they have no proof that this is a violation of their IP. When we sold on Amazon, this happened on a regular basis to us and other sellers. We would get some sort of IP violation that we weren't allowed to be a reseller of this product. And it's wrong. And what they did, especially on Amazon, was companies would set themselves up as IP monitors, and they would contract with, let's say, Panda Express here, and anybody that was selling Panda Express on Amazon, that company would go force them to take it down through filing a complaint with Amazon, and then you had to go through the back channels to get it sorted out if you could, and in many cases you couldn't get it sorted out. But these companies make a living doing this. They're dirty vultures is what they are. I understand the concept of protecting your IP, but they are bottom feeders making money, I believe, in a completely immoral fashion.
Yeah, somebody's doing it on Spin Master right now. I've not had it done to me yet. Knock on wood. But somebody is going on eBay and having listings taken down for Spin Master, and I'm not sure if it's new product, things that are being listed as new. eBay's not going to argue with them when they file these. It's up to us then. And is it worth it? Is it worth your time to go in and fight these? Usually not. So just, if you get something taken down, if you are 100% sure that you're not violating anything and it's just a bot doing this, just, sell it on the other platforms.
My understanding of the way it works is eBay is not held liable for selling goods that are, IP infringements, as long as they take it down immediately when requested to by an authorized representative of the owner of the IP. It then comes back to the person that had it taken down, us, to on Amazon. I think you could lodge a counter complaint, and then the person doing the complaining had like 10 days to file a lawsuit against you. Well, that's pretty doggone scary for your average person that's just out here trying to make a living, working on their own. We don't want to go through that. We don't have the time. We don't have the legal expertise, because these people are going to come with lawyers, and they know what they're doing, and they know how to win the lawsuit, or at least scare you into settling out of court or something. And it's low-life, dirty, bottom-feeding vultures that do a lot of this.
All right, let's move on to Mercari. All right, first thing that sold were these Fisher Price Little People. I've been putting all of my stuff back up. I'm not going to sell them on Whatnot anymore. And so this lot of farm animals sold for $19.96. And then this Toy Story Bullseye plush by Thinkway sold for $14.95. This was probably my best sell of the 4-day period. These were Fisher Price Pika Blocks. I got all of these at the Bridgeton bins in the St. Louis area. It was just a bag of them. I found a few laying out in the bins, and then I realized there was an entire bag of them. And this lot of 47 blocks sold for $63.96. And then this person sent me a bundle offer on 2 suspenders that I had listed. Sent me an offer of 22 for the 2. I sold the Mickey Mouse and the Snoopy suspenders. That one came from our Snoopy buyout estate sale thing that we did 2 years ago. So it's still moving. And then last but not least was this Gund Classic Pooh Eeyore plush lot. I got 5-star ratings on this, but the buyer said didn't realize they were as small as they were. I don't sometimes get these comments because right here shows you exactly how little they were, but not everybody looks at the photos. It was still a 5-star, but you know, sometimes you read these feedback and you're like, and then on Poshmark, I sold, I think 6 things on there also. First thing were these Brooks Ravina women's running shoes, sold for $15. Pottery Barn Kids Rabbit plush sold for $30. This Pillow Fort Mini Weighted Lamb plush sold for $21. That was a quick sell. Budweiser Insulated Cup 22 ounce sold for $13. Walgreens Dog Plush sold for $15. We've got a theme going here. Walgreens Rabbit Plush sold for $15. All right, and then Etsy, I sold 3 things. First was this Thai White Alfalfa Rabbit from 2003, sold for $9.85. McDonald's Furby Figure Lot. I forgot to change the quantity in the title, so they thought they got a bonus in their feedback, saying that you can see it at the bottom, that they were glad that they got an additional one, but it was just me forgetting to change the quantity up there. These 4 Furbies sold for $13.50. And then this was another quick sell. This is a Sherry Lewis Lamb Chop Hand Puppet from 1992, sold for $26.95. And then eBay. Had quite a few on eBay. First was another one of the Peanut Snoopy items. This was actually an address book that had never been used, sold for $18. Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Micro Machines Itty Bitty. It was Google Lens that told me what I had here, and the 3 of these sold for $17.95. A lot of this is bins pickup, so if you're trying to figure out, I don't always say how much I spent, but a lot of this is bins pickup. So it's going to be based on the pound. We average about $2 a pound in all the different bins that we go to. Next thing is this Loveberry felt bunny nest with 3 little plush. This is the second set of these I found. This one sold for an offer of $13. Madam Alexander. Anytime I find them in good condition in the bins, I go ahead and grab them. When I have a small lot of them, I'll go ahead and list them. This lot of 8 sold for $17.95. Next thing, I remember picking these up at an estate sale, and it's been a while. So they've been listed probably since the beginning of last year. These were some women's cat eye glasses. I sold it as frames, and that the lenses need to be replaced, and they sold for $20. This was also from the Snoopy lot. There was a small box of like just action figures and Funkos and stuff like that that I think whoever had this collection, these were like on a desk. This Funko Pop Muppet animal was in that box and it ended up selling for $30. I think we spent like $150 on everything that day. Just totes and totes and totes of stuff. And I sold just a little pendant for, I want to say 200 or 300. I've already forgotten. But yeah, so everything was profit after I sold that pendant. Yo Toy corduroy bear plush. This was a little 6-inch size one from 2011. Sold for $11.66. Let me tell you a story about this one. This is a smile face musical plush, little red smile face with the reindeer antlers. Sold for $13.45. It was going to Nebraska. You know, they bought it on, I want to say the 13th. We shipped it on the 14th, which was the next day. And then last week we started getting messages. Are you going to update the delivery? So I responded nicely. You know, the delivery estimates that are, you know, provided to you are eBay and the post office. You know, we can't change anything. And then we got another message saying, folks, it's going to be late. I again responded, you know, I shipped it the best that, you know, as soon as I possibly could. You know, any delays are on the post office. And, you know, I apologized. It finally got delivered yesterday. But this is one of those things I'm probably going to get a neutral or a negative. eBay will take it away. That is one of the things in their, you know, policies as far as negative feedback. It can be removed when it is things that are out of your control, like the post office. But yeah, I'm just expecting it because it did. It took 2 weeks about to get to him. And I understand their frustration, but you know, there was nothing else I could do but be nice.
Joshua over at Squatchy Sales, he had somebody left him or sent a message, I think, because the item had been delivered. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like the item had been delivered, but it wasn't at their house, and they wanted him to message the delivery driver to find out where they had put it. And I think a lot of people just don't understand how it works. I mean, I do, and I think that I would understand it if I wasn't a reseller. But as a reseller, I really understand it that we give it to our mail carrier or drop it off at the post office or at UPS, and then there's nothing we can do about it after that. And I think some people believe we've got some sort of inside communication with throughout the delivery process, and the best we can do is to, Rebel, be nice when you don't want to, and help them understand a little better.
Commonwealth Gingham Dog Calico Cat Plush. It's a set. The set was called Gingham Dog and Calico Cat. I don't have the dog. This is the cat as a replacement. Sold for $14.95. Alpha Zoo Express Eli the Elephant. Sold for $13.45. Aurora Plush Lot. This is a hamster and a guinea pig. Sold for $13.45. Another one where I had some of this listed, found some more, made one big lot of it, and it sold in about 2 months. This is Beauty and the Beast. Lots of little figures. Sold for $35.95. Another lot, seeing the theme. These were bunny rabbits, just the different colors. I had, one here, one there. I finally started making these lots. This was one of the first lots that I made back in October when I started doing all of this. And they finally sold $12.97. This was very quick sell, probably within a few days. Dandy Plush Dog Animated Christmas. I had just recently sold another dog just like this. I think it was a Rottweiler. And, you know, you turn them on and they just vibrate and roll and play music, and they've got bells. They always sell for me. This one sold very quickly, $15. Sesame Street Elmo Spoon, Ben's Pickup. I pick up a lot of characters' toys, including the smalls, and it sold $8.96 in less than a month. Mud Pie Dog Lovey. Again, I had it listed a little bit high when I got a $15 offer. You know, your gut wants to say, oh no, I'm going to counter this. Go check it. Go check it. There were others that were listed or had been sold for this amount or less. So I went ahead and accepted the offer. Make it gone. Get on with something else. This was a quick sell. Beatrix Potter Peter Rabbit quilt. I think this might have been in a haul video that you haven't even seen yet. I think it's the next one up. This sold very quickly, $20. I paid $1 for it at a church sale. Old Navy dog plush with the little blue bandanas. I like finding the Old Navy plush, the Baby Gap plush, anything, you know, these store ones, because, you know, once they've released them, probably the next year they're going to be a little bit different. And if somebody's looking for the exact same one that they had before, you know, I've got it. This set of two sold for $14.95. Busch Gardens dog plush. This has been listed forever. It's before 22, so that tells you how long it is. And I got a $20 offer and took it. Make it gone. Toy Factory Donkey Plush. It's another one of those. I'm like, why did I pick this up? Who knows when or why I picked it up, but I did, and it finally sold $14.95. But it was large. It barely made it into a the large 12-12-8 box. Dakin Gorilla Plush from 1981 sold for $13.45. Another one of those ones. I'm not picking up any more PJ Masks. They take forever to sell. This small lot just sold for $13. Animal Fair Dinosaur Plush. I love that brand. The most well-known Animal Fair plush is Henry the dog, and there's lots of side characters to that. But, you know, this one, it still sold $10. Last but not least, ooh, this was fun. Just picked this up at a yard sale probably last 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was an open box, but I paid $5 for it. But when we pulled out all the packs, they were all still sealed. It was all complete. The funny thing about this is both of us checked it when we were at the yard sale, and it was showing sold comps of about $20 to $25. But when I went to do my comps for when I was going to list it, it was selling regularly between $40 and $50 open box, or, you know, something like that. So, you know, sometimes this between the phones and the desktop, the search on eBay is just whacked. Something is wrong with it. But luckily I did not trust our memory from that trip, and I went ahead and double checked, and it sold almost instantly for $49.95. Robert had one sale on Poshmark. Again, it's one of the toys that we initially were going to put everything in the new Poshmark account. Changed our mind, pivot. I'm good for pivoting a lot on my strategies as far as reselling. But he sold this Walmart brown and white dog plush for $30 on Poshmark. And then he had, 3 sales on eBay. Old Navy boyfriend women's shorts sold for $10.50. And then an Old Navy the Diva women's jeans sold for $11.41. And then this was a nice sale. Columbia women's super bonehead long sleeve button-up shirt sold for $22.21.
That's you. Super bonehead. Good grief, sometimes I'm just like, what are you doing? Or saying?
Ditto. Ditto.
It's because you just don't understand
Uh-huh.
greatness.
Greatness. Ah. All right, y'all. It is time to get some work done. I need to make a haul video. So that's next. Get to work. Bye.